Alright, so now for this one, I'm going to rewrite this a little differently. I'm going to say y is equal to 4 plus sine of 10x raised to the 1/2. Okay? So now we just take the derivative of this. So y prime, or I could say dy dx. I could write it
I like
down a
y
little
prime
nicer,
better.
that's kind of bad.
Yeah, please do not do dy dx.
Yeah, you gotta get used to dy dx.
I don't wanna.
So now what do I do with this 1/2? Toss it to the front.
Since when was there a half?
Because instead of doing the square root,
Oh.
put it to 1/2. Pay attention.
You're welcome. And then the stuff on the inside stays the same.
Raised to the negative 1/2.
And then if you subtract 1, which is 2 over 2, then this becomes negative 1/2. Now, what's the last step when we do the chain rule? Because this is a chain rule problem.
Wait, why do you have to? Why do
Take-
you subtract? Why do you subtract a 1 if you're just trying to get rid of the square root?
Because that's the
Power
power rule.
So this is chain rule
Oh
and
wait,
power
I
rule.
missed. I skipped a step. Never mind.
Okay. So when we apply the power rule here, we subtract 1, which is the same as 2 over 2.
Yeah.
And so 1/2 minus 2 over 2 becomes negative 1/2. Okay?
And then you put on the derivative.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
power.
Now we need to take the derivative of the stuff on the inside. What's the derivative of 4?
4
Oh.
Zero.
Oh.
What's the derivative of sine of 10 of x?
cosine
Cosine. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. It's cosine of 10x, but you have to use the chain rule to that. So we've got to tack on the derivative, because the derivative of this is going to be this times the derivative of this.
Oh my god. Wait, why didn't we go back to negative sign?
Oh, you would.
Huh?
Oh.
No, we all will.
So I'm going to pause. Do you guys see that?
Yes.
95% of the time, people will forget that. Because they'll think, oh, I did the chain rule. But remember, when you take the derivative of sine of 10x, the derivative of sine of 10x is cosine 10x times 10.
Wait, why?
Because of the chain rule.
What's the derivative of sine of 10x?
Cosine of 10x.
10x times
Plus the derivative of the 10x. Right?
Which is
10.
10.
And then we
Which is 10.
Why don't you tack on the negative sign? Because
Well, because yeah, that's another bad habit, is that you feel like you want to keep taking the derivative, so you got to know when to stop. What is the derivative? So I'm gonna let me make some room here, and I'll show you on the top here. Okay.
Why do you multiply and why don't you add?
Here's what we're doing. We're taking the derivative of the stuff on the inside, and so basically we have to take the derivative of sine of 10x. So what is the derivative of sine of 10x?
Cosine of 10x.
Cosine of 10x, but then you have to tack on the derivative of this, which is just 10. Now, do we need to do any more?
No.
No. So, Mr. Adams said, all right, I got to take the derivative of this, which is cosine of 10x
Times 10.
times 10.
Got it.
and then we simplify.
Yeah, and then we clean it up a little bit. So now, dy dx, you have the 1/2 times 10 gives me
5.
5. Then that's going to be, now wait, we're going to clean this up really nice, okay?
Are you going to get rid of that negative 1/2?
The negative 1/2 goes on the bottom, so I've got a 5 on the top, and I have the negative 1/2 comes to the bottom, so this would be the square root of 4 plus sine of 10x.
Wait, well,
Okay.
Yeah, wait.
Oh,
Alright.
because of the it goes to the bottom. Because it's
I can't skip a step. I'll show you guys, because
after distributing.
No, I don't.
so let's make a little room. I'll have to write a little smaller. Okay, you guys ready? Pay attention. Dy dx. Let's clean it up. 5 times 4 plus sine of 10x to the 1/2, okay, times cosine of 10x. Now we want to get rid of
All of it.
this. So in order to do that, I have to write it on the bottom.
And then the cosine 10x stays on top. Or, yeah.
Do you guys see that?
X to the positive half.
Yes.
To the positive 1/2. So when I move it to the bottom, this goes away. Right? Because I want to get rid of the negative 1/2, so I move it to the bottom. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'll let you guys soak that in for a second.
Like a sponge.
Does cosine of 10x have parentheses? No.
Yeah, it does. I wrote double parentheses because it kind of goofed up, but that's okay.
So overall, the bottom is to the power of.
Yeah, so everything in parentheses is to the power of 1/2, which is another way to say what?
Square root of.
The square root of. So if I were to erase this,
Oh.
it should be 5 cosine of 10x all over the square root of 4 plus sine of 10x. Is that right?
Yes.
Letter B.
Then, does everybody understand it?
And that's the answer?
Any questions?
That's the answer?
Letter B.
Yeah, that's
Yep. So which one is that?
Letter B.
Wow. Thank you, Mr.
Correct. You're welcome.
Thank you.